Hey guys, before we start this video, I just wanted to point out a couple things. This video was supposed to come out on Friday, but I ran into a couple snags while I was editing the video, and because of that exact reason, I couldn't get it out in time. So in terms of the part of the podcast where we talk about the raid coming out tomorrow, it's actually already out, but all the other dates after the 5th are 100% accurate. And all that. So just wanted to say that. And without further ado, let's get into the podcast. Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Golden Age of Gaming. Today we will be talking about Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, the latest expansion to come out in the series, and the first expansion that Bungie said bon voyage to Activision, so we finally get to see... well, if it was worth it. Joining me today is our good friend Tyler.
Hey guys.
And of course, my co-host here, TJ.
What up, gamers?
Yeah, yikes. Anyway.
Why do you bully me?
No, it's okay, TJ. We love you anyway. No, we don't. So today, we're going to talk about the first impressions of Shadowkeep, what we thought of the story, what needs improvements right off the bat, and give our overall thoughts. It's for the most part a review of sorts, and I know that we know quite a few people who play Destiny, and I know some people are just a little hesitant on buying another expansion because Destiny's kind of a rocky road. It goes up and then down and then up and then down, and so a lot of people kind of have a bit of trust issues, and maybe this will help clarify whether or not they want to spend $35. So I guess right off the bat, we'll talk about story. What did you think, Tyler?
Story. I liked how, it's very nostalgic. We went back to the moon. Mm-hmm. Right off the bat, you spawn on the moon. I'm not going to say too much, but you start to see things that you recognize. You start piecing together like, oh, well, this looks new. But then you start going somewhere, and then it connects, almost kind of like Black Ops 4, how Mob of the Dead, you start at a new spot, but then you slowly inch back into familiar territories, and it was nice going back. Zavala greets the players with audio.
Yeah.
In the first, which I was glad to see that we got some audio from Zavala. I don't want to say too much about the story. I don't know. It had a nice shift through the story that I didn't expect.
I agree.
Story-wise, we haven't gotten a story since... Oh, no, we got one Forsaken.
Yeah,
so Forsaken was the last one.
Yeah, Opulence had, a really light story at the end with the bad juju quest and all that.
It had a mission of story.
Yeah, and I guess in reality it's... technically in and of itself it is a story beat, where
but then there's all the lore in between too.
Yeah, because Callus is just like, yo, hey, you've done enough raids for me that we're tight. So that was really the only story we have, but it has been a little bit. It's been a year, I want to say. Actually, it's been more than a year.
It's been over.
Because Shadowkeep was delayed. Since we've had cutscenes and a narrative that we were following, the last one of course being Forsaken, and Cade dying and all that stuff.
Rip.
Yeah, it's big sad, but yeah, I think the story was pretty good. There are a couple things that aren't spoiler related that I'll get into once TJ, you give your peace of mind in regards to the story. They're minor things. The narrative itself, I think, is good. I just thought it was a little too short. But that's always a Destiny campaign. And I know, I get why Bungie does it. Because it's most of the people playing Destiny right now, they always want the grind. And, I wouldn't say that there are people who don't care about the narrative, but... you get what I mean? They just kind of want to throw you all the end game content that'll increase the longevity of the game, as opposed to the story. If I had it my way, I wish I would wish every story was like Taken King length,
Same.
where it's just like, you know, it has a easy beginning, middle, end. I mean, this story does have a beginning, middle, end. It just moves a lot faster, but it's not as rushed, I felt, as Curse of Osiris, as Warmind.
The voice line, Eris Morn coming back, and
Yes.
her voice lines in, you know, in some of the cutscenes.
Yeah.
I mean, in the trailer, the you all are insufferable part.
Yeah.
It's just you know, hearing it in game and
Yeah,
like
it's really
knowing
cool.
what you know, it gives you the chills.
Yeah, and then I also thought it was a little... I thought Rise of Iron's story was rushed, because it, like, had no narrative. It was basically, Guardian, go kill Siva things, and
Pretty
then
much.
you did
Well,
it.
I think they were in like a limbo state.
Well, yeah, they
at
were
that
in a-
point because they didn't know whether they were gonna start working, or they had already started work on the next game,
Yeah.
but they didn't know. They just needed something to fill the void between.
Essentially,
Because back in Destiny 1, we didn't have a roadmap. You know, we would wait
Yeah.
months and months
Yeah.
before we would get DLCs.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh,
Everyone
we gotta throw."
remembers the content.
I
drought.
think they like put like a certain amount of people on just Rise of Iron, and were like, "Just do this to fill the void between
Yeah.
1 and
Yeah, that
2."
makes sense.
The end of 1 and 2.
Great raid, though. But,
Top tier raid.
it is a top-tier raid. But yeah, so that was kind of my first impressions of the story, and I'll get into it a little bit more shortly. But what did you think, TJ, of the Shadowkeep storyline?
I mean, yeah, I liked it because it actually tied back
Mhm.
to things in the main story.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. The characters in it, Eris, Zavala, and Ikora, actually talk for once.
You actually talked
Yeah,
for once.
we talk again.
Yeah.
That
At
was
long
exciting.
last.
More than once too.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had like whole friggin' conversations.
Yeah, I know.
we
It's
had a-
nice instead of the 2 lines for getting Forsaken.
Yeah, when he was like Eris Morn, I was like, wait, why did my ghost sound weird? And then I was like, wait,
Wait a
and then my
minute.
guardian's like doing like these gestures. I was like, wait, I'm actually okay, all right. Yeah, and like he has like 3 conversations in the whole story.
Yeah.
Actually, pretty much every cutscene, your character's talking in the
Well,
story. There's
not
there's the
everyone.
beginning
I would
one.
just say there's one that's not.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
okay,
there's
so
just one where
one
it's like
like-
nodding, like.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Oh, let's. Oh yeah, I don't want to say it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay, so there's that. But at least they talked at the end,
Yeah,
where we
it's
desperately
nice.
needed someone to say something.
Yeah.
As Cade said in the base story of D2, just say something. That's what we friggin' always
Yeah,
wish. But
Ghost always just talked for you.
yep. But
No longer.
yeah,
Yeah, other than that, the story felt really short.
yeah.
And in terms of the gameplay of the story, it's pretty basic.
I agree.
The boss fights, they're nothing special.
No, they're not. Which, I mean,
Pretty much par for the course for story bosses, but
yeah, I like this is where I kind of go to the negatives, at least the negatives I think are in the story, where every single boss fight was the exact same fight. It was like it could be a completely different nightmare,
yeah.
and it's like, oh hey, Crota's back, and it's like, oh awesome, and then you get a quarter of his health down, he goes immune, launches a bunch of nightmares at you, you kill the nightmares, shield goes down, rinse and repeat for literally every single nightmare fight. Every single one of them.
Although to be fair, Crota's the only kind of different one.
Yeah.
That you damage him.
Well, yeah.
And that's something I was going to bring up now that you mentioned Crota. I'm going to say this, is that, you know, when I went to go do the Crota Nightmare fight, I went over to the side panel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I dropped
I
the
did
sword.
Treated
I
just
dropped
like
the sword,
Crota
took out
raid.
my rocket,
Yup.
shot the rocket, picked up my sword, jumped up, and was
Yeah.
like, "Oh wait, my rocket did no
That's
damage."
not how it works.
And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh man, that's
It's unfortunate.
He doesn't have a shield."
Yeah. Another complaint that I have, while they are repetitive though, I was never bored. And that could just be because it's my first time going through, and then it's going to be one of those things where once you keep replaying it over and over and over again, you're like, Jesus Christ, just stop going immune so I can kill you faster. Which is, unfortunately, a decent amount of fights in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
But, it you know, it is what it is. The voice acting in the first, like, half of the game from Nolan North annoyed me. I did not like how he was super calm. And my reason explaining it, I can't say it because it's a spoiler, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, how the story goes. And Ghost is incredibly calm through the whole thing. Like, he is just one note for, like, half of it. And then right when it starts picking up, all of a sudden he has, like, all this, like, pep and, like, personality and stuff like that. Which I thought was weird, because it sounded like Dinklage to me. That was how, like, slow it felt to me. And I was, like, really confused. I'm like, shouldn't we be making a bigger deal about this? Like, because the story that we know is this giant fortress on the moon, you know, just shows up. It's been, you know, it's
Constructed.
built. Yeah, it was constructed for a little while now. And it turns out that there's actually a significant problem, and all of our enemies that we killed beforehand from Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 are coming back. I feel like that is kind of a problem that should be addressed, and maybe have a little bit more, like, haste in your voice. You know what I mean? Like, instead of just treating it as, like, as Bungie said before, like the whole Monster of the Week thing, they were literally just like, we killed Crota before, we could do it again. It wasn't like Eris, why are these guys coming back? Like, for God's sake.
It's just, hey, go kill them again.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, one of them completely just took over the city and removed all of our powers. It's not like the other one wiped out Eris Morn's fire team and caused the great disaster, and there's the reason why there's giant friggin' cracks in the moon's surface. It's not like the other one, for God's sake, killed the previous Hunter Vanguard. Like, it feels like a little bit more important, and Ghost is just kind of like, Eris, what's going on? Oh, alright.
Alright,
Cool.
go kill him, Guardian.
I mean, yeah, we've done it before, I guess. Just go. Was not it in the beginning? It almost took me out of the like story, but then, of course, the part where we all know what I'm talking about, I assume, is when it picks up. But even then, it almost felt like he didn't really have that much, like, I don't know, the urge to even continue, because I would assume from his perspective he knows what this thing is, or like maybe knows something about it. So like, boy, what are you doing?
I don't know, he just knows how unstoppable we are.
He's
He's not even worried.
But now it's like, it's the whole like suspension of disbelief thing. I liked it because like when you know, in Taken King, when we're stuck in that, like, the best mission, one of the best missions in the story, Regicide's still on top, but
Correct.
But it's the Black Spindle mission. It's where we're like down there and we think it's just a simple, like, walk to it and scan it and shoot a couple baddies, just like Destiny's, you know, always been. And then all of a sudden it's like, there's too many of them, we gotta get out of here, run. And like, your Ghost is freaking out, Eris Morn's freaking out, you're silent. That's,
as always.
you know, yeah, as always. And you're just like, you're freaking out, and you're all just running out of there. And these guys are just on your tail, and they're not letting go. They're not gonna like ease up on you. And Ghost is like, I want to say one of his lines is like, I thought, you know, I lost you, like blah 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 blah. He freaks out in the beginning of Destiny 2 because he thinks that you're dead, and then you show up, and he's like, oh my god. He's like, yes. He's like, I only have enough power to resurrect you, or not even resurrect you, but heal you. And he's like he sounded a lot more dramatic then. And I'm just sitting here like, where's the emotion? Like, I don't know if like they caught Nolan North on like a bad day or something. Like, I don't know, maybe he ordered something at KFC like I did previously and, you know, didn't get what he wanted. I actually, side note, found out what the thing was. They gave me a 3-piece combo. It had nothing to do. It was on a completely different part of the menu, by the way. Not even connected to the Crispy Kernel box. Which, side note, Crispy Kernel box, super good. You should definitely get it at KFC. We're not sponsored by KFC, but seriously, a Crispy Kernel box is like $9.53 and you get like 8 items. It's great. So aside from that, definitely not sponsored. We're not sponsored. I'm just pointing that out.
But KFC, if you want to sponsor us,
yeah, I
hit
mean,
us up.
Hey, we will not be opposed. I will advertise your Crispy Kernel box wherever I go.
As long as you bring back the Georgia Gold sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still mad at you guys for that.
Yeah, you can still pay us, though,
Please.
if you want. Anyway, but no, like, the voice acting in the beginning bothered me, because I was like, I don't understand why.
I felt like Eris Morn got the bulk of the good voice acting.
She
maybe
definitely did.
Maybe like Nolan North. I don't know how it works. Is it like, do they only do like one take?
No, there's definitely.
I know there's not one take, but like maybe it was like budget reasons where they couldn't, like, they just had to, maybe they only had Nolan North for a day because Nolan North is a busy guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, but I mean, either way, I feel like you'd make that one take as intense as possible because, I mean, they said it too. They said that it was like, oh, that was another thing. It kind of felt like I wouldn't say false marketing, but like I was hyped up for the wrong reason, and they were trying to treat it as if it's like a psychological horror type deal, where it's like it's gonna be creepier than any other expansion they did. I think that's what they said, something along those lines. And really, it was like the last mission that I felt slightly like creeped out a little bit. I was like, oh, this is kind of uneasy.
Kind of spooky.
Yeah, the rest is like just the same old average. Like walk into a super bright room, you kill them, and then the thing. And even though it sounds like I friggin' hate this expansion, I mean I don't. It's the stuff I like a lot.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have that whole like change of pace, like what they did with Taken King, like I said, and then they kind of do that same story beat in this storyline, which I liked. It's a nice change of pace. But if you mix up the whole go to point A to point B, kill all the things in between, and scan it and get done, it's a nice direction. If not every mission is the same exact cut and dry mission, and I wish they put more, I don't know, I wouldn't say effort, but
creativity.
Yeah, I guess more creativity. And it could be because with the transition between Activision and Bungie, the whole a Bungie Activision and then just a Bungie Studios just on their own. It could be they didn't know, or maybe they wanted to save their budget because they didn't know how much money they were going to get because they're on their own now. Because they did say it's going to span multiple seasons. So if in reality every season is going to be a small little story thing and have and it just continues the same narrative, and when you look back on it, friggin' next year or in the next 6 months, whatever, and you think about it as a whole storyline where something you can go from Shadowkeep over to as if it's like a sequel. I guess that's better to do than just throwing all the story at you and then they have to go back to square one and then spend all this money.
I remember Luke Smith in one of the Bungie Viadocs, the Shadowkeep Viadoc, he was talking about how, this season we're going to kind of see how these things start to come back in, and then by like next season and the season after that is when it really is going to ramp up.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking maybe they're just testing the waters a little bit.
Yeah.
For like these next 2 seasons, and then they're just going to fucking lay it all down.
Yeah.
And be like, that's what I'm hoping for. That's what it makes it seem like.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are really my like massive complaints on the story, and though that is it seemed like a lot, it doesn't bother me as much. It's just more like basically everything I'm saying is just constructive criticism.
Oh yeah.
It's
like we bash the game because we love the game.
Yes, I friggin' love Destiny.
We want to see it do better.
Exactly. Like, I mean, for God's sake, Destiny plagues our lives. Like, we do not. Once we have something Destiny related,
sleep over it.
Yeah, it's so hard to like put it down, and then right when you put it down, you're kind of in this void. Like, for God's sake, I started playing a bunch of random single player games just to try and fill the void rather, until Shadowkeep came out, and then when it was delayed, I was like, I'm dead. Like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Then we got
Borderlands.
Yeah, luckily Borderlands came in, but we're not always going to have a Borderlands when that happens.
Yeah.
So I'm
just go back to my old games.
But it was nice not to have to switch between 2 games at launch.
Yeah, that was true.
Because
that was very nice. I keep thinking of the meme of Pablo Escobar from Narcos just standing in different parts, just kind of this, like, trying to figure out something to do. I don't know if you've seen that meme before. You probably have. It's just a bunch of pictures of, like, a guy standing around just looking bored or looking lost. That's how I felt every time in between a Destiny, like, content drought. Like, I'm just sitting there like, so what next? And I actually saw a comment on, I saw a comment when Shadowkeep was down, the beginning, the little rocky launch they had. Someone said, so I just met my family. Seems like they're pretty nice people. While I'm waiting for Shadowkeep. So that was it was kind of funny. I liked that a lot. But yeah, like, all the stuff we say here, it might seem like, we hate the game, and like we said, we genuinely don't. I want this game to succeed. I'm so sick of people saying Bungie and Destiny are like terrible.
Dead game lull, but the servers at launch were fucking jam-packed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I hate it when people are always like, whenever a game comes out, they're like, Destiny killer, and like, Destiny lives Destiny on, and that game dies. Totally not talking about Anthem here.
Yeah,
and,
of course, Anthem never died.
Yeah, Anthem's
thriving right now.
Anthem is like way better than Destiny, right?
Top of Twitch.
Yeah, top of Twitch, all like 10 viewers. But, so those are my kind of complaints with the story. I have a lot more complaints with this expansion in general.
Ooh, we got a couple.
But you two, because I don't want to hog the spotlight or whatever in regards to story beats or whatever that I particularly didn't, care for. What do you guys think should have been improved for the story, or things that you, I don't know, gripes that you had, annoyances?
For me, it's small things that could have went a long way. Voice acting, one of them. I thought it would be kind of cool because they introduced the phantoms in the game, and these phantoms of Eris's long lost fire team. They kind of like hunch over her and like, but they're just like these figures that float around and kind of don't do really anything. I thought it'd be cool if like maybe we had like voice lines of them.
Phantoms? Or
our own. I mean, I guess our nightmares are basically our own phantoms,
and I guess,
coming back to haunt us. But like, while Eris is just sitting there and all the things are looming around her, if they had like voice lines, or if just like, if they're all talking at once and like trying to like, I mean, she can hear them, but we can't.
That's what I wish we had, was because like we've lost people. We lost Cade. Like, that's an easy one. We could have easily had, like, because all these, like, nightmares and stuff that are coming back, they're more like, ha, you killed me, now I'm back and I want to kill you. It's not like what Eris is mentioning, that, like, her fire team is saying, like, oh, you're the reason we're dead and all that stuff. They're not them. They're basically just they're trying to manipulate her using the bodies and the faces of her dead friends. I thought that it would be cool if, while we're, walking through and all that stuff, as the story progresses, like, maybe we have a Phantom of Cade that's saying, like, you could have saved me and you did nothing. You sat there and watched, or something like that. Something to taunt you, like, and we had our own phantoms as opposed to nightmares. So, like, while we're going through, the ghost is like, ignore them, Guardian, like, you did everything you could, there's nothing else you could have done, and stuff like that. Like, I thought that would have been a really, really cool thing, because now it just seems like our Guardian has, like, no friends, and has no one to, like, fight for. It also seems like he's just immune to all the stuff that they keep throwing at us. Like, I get it, we're the player, we're supposed to be, like, this super mega badass that kills things. That's fine.
But we're not a character.
Yeah, like, Forsaken, we felt like characters, because we were pissed that Cade died. We were like, no. I mean, in the two voice lines we have, one of them being, you won't have to, Uldren Sov is mine. And then it ends with your character aiming the gun at Uldren, and nodding his head, saying you know what side you're on. And you fire, you pull the trigger, he's dead. Like, that, you felt like a character. Because you kind of just went your own way. In this, like, I'm glad that our character has a voice. In terms of that, he felt like more of a character. He or she felt like more of a character. But the threat that we had, it didn't really affect us. It affected everyone else, which I disagree with, because we've seen a lot as well. The Taken King, the whole Awoken fleet basically just went poof. They died. Right? We could have had some of those phantoms because maybe we didn't kill. They blame us for not killing Oryx fast enough or something like that. Literally anything. You know what I mean? It could be like some random friggin' person who died during the Red War in the city or whatever, and it's them saying like, why didn't you save me? Or like, I don't know. I just thought that would have been really cool. Like, and you kind of feel guilty or whatever. Like maybe. In your head, obviously, you can't, but, there's like that one little part of you that's like, what if I was just a little bit faster in the first Forsaken mission? Maybe I could have saved Cade. Or, like, something like that. And it just kind of toys with your mind, and I would like that a lot. I just wish it was played more. But yeah, you said that, what was the voice acting?
Yeah, the voice acting, they introduced phantoms. I thought they could have went a little bit more in depth with that, like you said, with having your own.
Yeah.
Because Festival of the Lost last year, they introduced like, I forget who he was that died. Forgive me.
It was the
Exo,
in the Reef.
the Cryptarch in the Reef. I was gonna
Ives?
say
Ives,
Master
yeah.
Ives.
He dead.
He did.
Well, I know he's dead because his voice actor's Devram K. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah, that's why they killed him, because they can't have, I think his name is Gideon, the voice actor. I like him. He was in Advanced Warfare.
Why not, dude? They could have kept him. It's not like Devram's relevant anyway.
He was a little bit, okay?
Actually, he's kind of
and
relevant.
he's got a funny voice line about Baby Dog.
Apparently, if one of your pieces of gear is like so much higher than the others, you can go to like any planet and like just even out your score by turning in planetary materials. So
Well,
I guess he's kind
character
of
isn't relevant.
yeah.
Well,
but he
to
likes
be fair,
As a vendor,
it's the Destiny way. It's like they introduce them and then they basically sideline them until...
cough, cough, Hawthorne, cough, cough.
Listen, Hawthorne was already kind of an annoying character when
You
she
just
came
never
out.
quit, do you?
Because, like, her lines I thought were way too pushy. Like, when Zavala, like, almost died or whatever, and she's like, what is it with you Guardians and falling down all the time? But yet she has no problem asking for help when all of her people die. When they try to kill Zahn in the Arms Dealer quest. Because, like, Cade's all like, ooh, get the flame turret blueprints. And she's like, a lot of good people died. It's like, oh, okay.
We didn't know them.
It's like, yeah, sorry, I forgot. The Cabal. The Cabal kill people. I forgot, It's not like we were in the city when it happened, you moron. But, aside from that, a lot of characters are... I'm just glad that Eris Morn is back. And
yes,
she seems...
better than ever.
Yeah, she seems, as of right now, more of both a character and a vendor at once. Because clearly it seems like there's a lot of things you can do. Finding those pieces for her fire team is one of the things you can do. And, like, if you, I don't know if you've done it yet.
Oh, the memory? Oh, you're talking about the memory?
The Saimoda necklace
Yeah,
thing.
I haven't done that yet.
So
I'm working on it.
So when Eris Morn, make sure to do this, because I think Dom or something doesn't surprise me. Yeah, you know who you are, Dom, if you watch this. If you keep saying "tell more" to Eris, she'll basically go on like this speech about who that person was.
Oh, you can keep
Oh,
doing
really?
it?
Yes, you can keep
I
doing
just did
it.
it once.
She did it.
It didn't show me.
It did it twice for me.
Ooh,
It
Lord.
did it twice for me, because it was basically like Saimoda, like she taught me how to carve.
Does she have memories of each one of her?
Yes,
fallen fire
because one
teams?
phantom disappeared and the other ones are still there. So I was really interested in that, because she was like, Saimoda was like, one of my best friends and all that. And then I did tell more one more time, and she said that like she taught her how to carve the beads that are on all of her guns. And like,
I actually have one in my room. Came with a collector's edition.
oh really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, then she disappears and she goes back to doing the research and stuff like that. I friggin' love that stuff. It's lore that I've wanted for so long. Because all we knew at the time in terms of Eris Morn's fire team was that, like, after the Great Disaster, Ariana 3 was not happy that Wei Ning died and basically forged a fire team. And, it was Saimoda, Veltarlo, Eris Morn, Toland, Ariana 3 herself, and then Omar,
Omarga.
Yeah, Omar. Yeah, and they they went through. Veltarlo was snuffed out because of all the hive, or the thrall rather, in the the beginning of the Proto Raid or whatever.
Imagine dying to thrall.
Hey, that was a tough. I tried to solo that when year one, not year one. It was around
Easy on
taking
hunters
king.
if you had the
Well,
don't
I
touch
was
me.
using-
What are you talking about, dude?
The don't touch
Super
me.
difficult
Yeah.
for hunters.
Well, you see, for Titans, I used the flashbang. So right when I threw it, all of the thrall would just cover their head, and I'd be like, all right, I'll just jump over here. But then after a while, it got tough. So I used my warlock back when Obsidian Mind was really good, and I would basically Nova Bomb once, and then got another Nova Bomb, and would just run up Nova Bomb again, run up Nova Bomb again, and made it. And I was so happy. I was like, man, I can't wait to get this gear. And in typical Destiny fashion, I got a Radiant Shard, and
Remember Radiant
and
Shards?
a
God.
a pair of boots, and I looked
yeah.
at it, and it was not even high enough because at the time I didn't know that each expansion gets dumbed down when a new one comes out. So when because I was doing it for powerful gear, so I was like, if I can only do a raid, then I'll do it alone because I didn't have friends in Destiny 1. So then
That's bad, man.
disappointed.
That's real bad.
Yeah, but no, it was really cool. And then, actually, I just saw. There's also the dead ghosts that you can collect, and they are basically audio recordings of what happens, their last recorded log.
Is it not lore?
It is lore. It's
Okay.
They give you lore and they give you an audio.
Does
thing
it
that you can
add
listen
to the dead ghost? Is it a new tab? Because
I think it is a new tab.
I was gonna say because we have dead
Yeah.
ghosts that we picked up.
Because
Vanilla.
they're all guardians. As far as I know, it's all guardians from the Great Disaster and Eris Morn's Fire Team. Because I found Simoda's again.
Do they give subtitles of who's speaking?
Yes. Okay. Because it was Simoda's ghost, and it said that when they were in the Hellmouth, that she resurrected Simoda 43 times, and she's like, I'm gonna have to. If I have to resurrect her a 44th time, I will. And she got
carried.
She got separated with Sai, and she was like, I need to find her, and if it's the last thing I do, and then the audio cuts out. So it's so interesting. That's what I gotta give Bungie props for, because the Shadowkeep lore kicks ass.
Stop! I want to go play right now.
I know, I want to go play too, but we gotta do the podcast, damn it. But so the lore is it's really good. You have. I haven't read the one with the glyphs that you find all across. I don't want to read it until it's done. I don't want to read any of them until they're done. The only reason why
because I want to read them in order.
Yeah, the only reason why I have the ghost ones is because technically they're not in order. They're just different snippets of time on the moon.
Different people.
But there's lore. As far as I know, from what it looks like, like I said, haven't read it, but it looks like there's lore from the astronauts that were on the moon before the collapse or during the collapse.
Yes.
So I'm super interested to learn about that stuff.
Is that the ones that you pick up from the lost sectors?
Yeah, from the lost sectors. Yeah. And then I think I got one from a region chest too. I don't remember. They're basically just doing literally anything.
Well, I think it acts as the same one as the Dreaming City ones, where you just open chests, do lost sectors, and just do random things.
Yeah, that
and
makes
get
sense.
It seemed like it was a higher chance for doing the first time lost sector though.
Yes, it does.
Because one of the triumphs is do all the lost sectors, so I did that, and I got 3 or 4 out of the 5, I think.
Yeah. So and I also got a new lore today or yesterday. I forget. I don't even know what lore book that's from. I didn't look at it yet. But I mean, as always, because I've always loved the lore in Destiny. Especially now that thank you, Bife. Have been
4-hour video. Did you get a movie?
This latest one.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but
I watched the first hour or so.
I just like that now that I'm all caught up and know everything about the Battle of Mara Ibrium or the Great Disaster. For you casuals who don't know the actual name of the battle, and then the Battle of the Burning Lake, which we still know nothing about. I still really want to know. That goes out for you too, because I said this to Gilt and Tyler. If you find any lore that I don't and it mentions the Burning Lake, let me know because I will
Start
find
checking
it.
all
Say
legendary
that
pieces
like
of
I
gear
read
too.
lore, dude.
Why wouldn't you? It's so good.
Like, does any of
I'll
the
care
dream-
about
does
it when
any of the
it's
Dream Bane?
incorporated directly.
It
into
is
the
incorporated. Well, the Great Disaster and Erisborn's Fire Team stuff is, as of right now.
story. Okay, yeah. So that I'll care about. I care about the
Damn it,
lore
TJ.
when it's incorporated into the story, like the characters.
But you don't think it's
talk about
interesting,
it?
like, the first time
Yeah.
the Guardians come into contact with the Hive and they almost lose, and it's just before everyone's going to the moon
Yeah,
to
sure,
fight them?
Don't get me wrong.
Or the rise of
lore is-
Oryx before
the lore
we
is
fight him.
Cool and all.
How Oryx
Yeah.
became the Taken
But-
King.
Yes.
Eh,
Whatever,
Defying the
TJ.
sword logic.
If you guys can't tell, Tyler and I love the lore. TJ's just kind of... It's cool.
it's all right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe my Grimoire Volume 2, when it comes in, will say something about the Burning Lake.
I would like for that to happen. It's considered the least documented thing in, like, the Vanguard's history. I would like
But
for
yeah,
that
like I
to
said, start
be a
checking
thing.
like all the legendary gear.
Some of them
'Cause
don't
I remember,
have
like, the
lore, 'cause
mountaintop-
I don't think the Dream
Or
Bane
not
armor
Mountaintop,
has lore.
or something else. That's what I was saying. Is Dream Bane armor?
No, it doesn't have lore. Not even the weapons have lore. I was disappointed about that.
All the exotics do, right?
Yeah, I haven't read Ariana's Vow. Oh,
Neither
Ariana's
have
Vow
I.
has one caption in the lore, and it's like,
Ooh.
I won't die, something like that. I don't remember. So the lore in this expansion is very good. The story, while it's basic, and there are things that I don't like, well, not even things I don't like, it's just more like nitpicking, honestly.
Yeah.
It starts off strong. It feels like a stepping stone expansion,
Yeah.
which I don't have a problem with.
I think it's going to easily transition into this next season.
Yeah, and
And it's kind of a cliffhanger, and it kind of keeps you
Yeah.
wanting more. But at the same time, it was short.
Well, we also have to find out because the raid's tomorrow. The raid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Which
Because
how
of-
we all looking on our?
Well, I'm
light for
9-10.
that?
I'm
I'm
I still haven't.
9-13.
Yeah, because I still haven't done some of the stuff
I
that
still-
you've
I still
done in
have a
terms
lot
of
of-
powerful
I'm
gear.
907,
yeah.
and I still have everything.
And then
So,
I don't know
yeah, I
how
still have everything too.
Because I
Dom
got all the way
and
to 907
Nick
just
are
from
doing.
comp last night.
Yeah, comp was gorgeous last night. It
Yeah.
was great. Well,
Oh,
when
I'm
we
sure we'll
won.
talk about.
Oh, we will. We will.
Crucible.
So aside from those things, I guess we'll talk about more, like, of the things I don't like, at least. And this has been a recurring thing in Destiny 2, and it's been really setting me off because I get really irritated with this. Each expansion's like $35 to $40, with
Yup.
Warmind and Curse of Osiris being $25. I don't have a problem with the prices, because I know, especially now that Bungie's on their own, I know that my money, as far as I know at least, is going to a good cause. It's going to something I love. So if I'm, instead of it being put in Activision's pocket,
Your help supporting the game.
exactly,
and the
it's
studio.
supporting the game that you love, which, in all honesty, I don't have a problem with that. Because, I mean, I feel like you should get what you pay for. The thing is, and this has been my biggest gripe since the beginning of Destiny 2. If I pay another $35 or $40 for an expansion, and I get garbage armor,
oh my god.
it-
the armor.
it's so stupid. It's not even like objective, where it's like, oh yeah, this armor, I just don't like the look of it. I mean, I don't. But the amount of goddamn reskins that they put into this game annoys me so much. The Iron Fellowship armor that we were talking about, the Iron Banner's
Yeah.
newest set of armor, which, to be fair, does look better than its original counterpart. I mean, I already showed you the gauntlets that the Titan have, and it looks way better than the ones they had before. They're all... What Bungie has been doing it's been reskins with slight differences in, like, the texture of the armor and, like, slight altercations.
Yeah, like they add like little
you'll have-
glowing bits.
Yeah, you'll have, like, the Titan gauntlets that are the size of a goddamn football field and look comically bad. And then the next season, they'll be like, yeah, we have new armor! And it's the same exact thing, but has, like, a belt on it. Or, like, a scratch. And it's like, yeah, it's new. No, it's not. Bungie, for God's sake, how many good pieces of armor did you come out with in Destiny 1? Vanilla Destiny had their own thing.
Each expansion had vendor
Exactly.
resets.
Exactly.
Vendor resets.
We need them.
Dark Below introduced the whole kind of like, almost scout-looking armor for the Titan. They had like a backpack. It was what Yolder was wearing in the Rise of Iron expansion when she presses the button and closes the... That whole armor set that was also in... That technically, yes, was a reskin as well because it was the Dead Orbit's armor and it was also Iron Banner's armor at the same time. But the reason they were different at the time, and it was a lot better looking, and it was a better excuse, is because shaders weren't as diverse, I feel. It was more like one shader affects your entire armor set. So it automatically looked different because you have the Iron Banner, logos and like the wolves on the arms and all that. It was different enough. This isn't different enough. The faction rallies that we had for Titans, it was a reskin of the EDZ armor with little to no difference, and it was color differences.
Yep.
And the problem with that is we have shaders. So there's no point. It's basically, I could say, if I sided with Dead Orbit or anything like that, and I got their shaders, and then I wore the EDZ armor, you wouldn't know I was wearing Dead Orbit armor or the EDZ armor unless you inspected me and you said and looked at the name.
Yeah, because the name's the
exactly.
only difference.
It wasn't
and the logo. But that's only if you don't put a shader on sometimes.
Yeah, and so in Destiny 1, it was like, oh, you're definitely New Monarchy. Because it shows.
It shows.
Yeah.
You look over here, you're like, that's Dead Orbit. I would recognize that Hunter gas mask anywhere. It's only in Dead Orbit. And then it just so on and so forth. But now, even guns, too. The Festival of the Lost last year, I didn't even play. That was when I was on
the origin story.
If you were to log into my console right now, when you hold left trigger to bring up the old, where the milestones used to be, when you're in the director, I still have complete a challenge wearing a Festival of the Lost mask, and it's been there since last year. And Festival of Lost is already coming back.
Exactly.
So it's been there for a full year.
Like the fact that they made that gun called Horror Story, and it literally the only thing different once again was the color.
Yeah.
You can't just alter the colors in a game where you can literally put shaders on everything. The only thing you can't put shaders on are exotic guns.
They're just like, we'll give it to you at max light and hope that'll be
exactly.
a nice
It's
enough
just
token.
It's stupid. Like I miss the days when we had a whole Taken armor set, and then everything was just altered enough where you knew where it came from.
Yep.
If someone like when Destiny 1 came out, when people were walking around with fancy schmancy Vex armor, you knew exactly where that was. You knew it was from the raid, and you looked at them differently. You were like, that's raid armor? You're badass. That looks sick. I want that armor. Which drove me and continued the longevity of the game for me, because I have armor I'm aiming for.
Yep.
That's the thing. Last year in Forsaken, granted most of the armor was kind of okay, but I still felt like I had something to aim for.
Yep.
Because there were enough armor sets where maybe I could try different combinations, and in the end, you and I both found our armor sets.
Pretty much. I'm not
basically
changing it.
The only thing I'm changing is like my gauntlets, only because I like ones that look cleaner. But other than that, it's always the same thing every friggin' season. And I want to spend $45 or $35 rather on an expansion and get new items. I feel like that's the least you could do. That is the very bare minimum of what you could do. If you had new looking guns, which, by the way, the ones in the season pass that we have, the one that auto rifle I said looked really nice, the purple flex, is another reskin of Origin Story. The only reason it looks different is because they altered it enough. No, they just altered it enough. It's not the Eris weapon. It's the Vex.
Okay.
So they added a Vex like bar to the stock, and it looks deconstructed on the front. So it's cool enough. They alter it enough where whatever, even though it's still a reskin, it at least looks like they put more effort than slap a new skin on. Like the Iron Banner weapons, they're all the same. They're all the same exact looking armor and weapons all the time. And it's the only thing the only reason it's an Iron Banner weapon is the name and that ugly little gold circle on
doesn't
the
change.
guns that doesn't change at all.
I feel like the
and has
Iron
the symbol
Banner
there.
weapons aren't even as good as they
No.
used to be in like
No, they
Destiny
weren't.
1.
Good.
For God's sake, Fellwinter's Lie? That was an Iron Banner gun, right?
Winter's Lie.
Yeah.
Oh
God.
boy, was it the sniper?
Exactly. Like
the pulse rifle.
The hand.
from-
Oh, Nerwin's Mercy.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
the
I don't
um,
remember
the-
if it was Clever Dragon or Nerwin's Mercy.
Clever Dragon,
Clever Dragon
was the Rise of Iron
Rise
one.
of Iron, yeah.
The one
Rise
that
of
had
Iron
like the
guns look
spiral
bad.
barrel. They
Yeah.
all started having
Oh,
those.
yeah.
towards-
They all started having rusty barrels.
Yeah.
Looked like pipe
Back
weapons
in
from Fallout 4.
Vanilla
Yeah.
D1, Yolder's hammer.
Yep.
The
Just
epic
everything
machine gun,
looks
dude.
because it looks
Criminal's
pristine because it's Iron Banner. Like it was supposed to be that faction that's like they've been around for a while, and these are the weapons they've used. And
Yeah.
like you're like wow, like it stands out. You know when you get killed by an Iron Banner weapon in Destiny 1 at least. You know because
Yeah.
you know from the look, you know from the sounds.
You know, because they run rampant in the Crucible.
that
And I love how they're all named after like the
Yeah.
Iron Lords.
Yeah, and then
you know it
now
brought in the
it's-
lore of like Fellwinter and
Exactly.
Fellwinter's Lie,
Aphrodite's
Yolder and Yolder's
Spear.
Hammer.
Yep. But then now it's like, isn't that the rocket launcher like Roar of the Bear?
Yeah.
And that makes no sense because Iron Banner's all about
Random
wolves.
thing.
They're literally called Iron Wolves. Why do bears have
Sorry,
anything?
they're
bears.
bears.
So like, it's just I think it's so frustrating because the only new armor set we have is the Dreambane armor.
The Dreambane.
The Dreambane armor, it doesn't actually look that bad.
Well, there's another.
And
We got
set.
the PS4 exclusive. I mean, it's not new, but new to Xbox
the PS4
players.
exclusive, I guess, yeah.
Which
Or the sets
technically.
were like, I know the Hunter has a helmet with like the 3 eyes. Is that all new? Or
The 3 eyes.
pretty sure there was one.
Which one?
I don't know.
Are you
Was it
talking about
one
like
of
the visor that you have that has like the 3 dots?
Yeah, that I think.
No, that's
I don't
that's been in
remember.
before.
I don't remember.
And then most importantly, most people play Destiny for raids. And why would you make the raid armor a reskin from the worst DLC in Destiny history? Curse of Osiris. Why would you
God.
do that? And more importantly, why would you do the Eververse armor set? The set that literally no one liked. The only thing that was good on that thing was the cloak, because Cole likes that cloak a lot. And to be fair, it is a nice looking cloak. Titans, they're already it's a reskin of a reskin of a reskin. The first armor you get in the game for a Titan is, aside from being ridiculously bulky and looks stupid, it's the same model. It's the same model every time. They just make it Vex. Woo! I look at it now, and my problem is the armor we get. It's a reskin, and if it's new, it looks terrible. I understand why we're spending like $45 on expansions, and when it's a new armor set, it looks like shit. Or it's an old armor set with different altercations on it to make it look slightly cooler. I can't stand it. The weapons, the raid weapons look nice. Some of them. Actually, most of them.
I'm just hoping that we have
Factions come
raid-specific
back.
perks.
raid specific.
Oh,
perks.
well, yeah.
That's what I
That's-
miss the most because
Even if it's like nothing, like
like
when we had
back in
the-
Vault of Glass,
the
you're
Dark
just
Below.
Oracle Disruptor.
yeah, or the Dark Below where
Hive
you
Disruptor.
had Swordbreaker. That was the name of the shotgun, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
And I think it did more
Swordbearer,
damage against
Swordbearer, one of them.
the
Nice.
sword bearers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a full auto shotgun, so that was nice. Or like Abyss Defiant, where like it would disrupt Hive Wizards.
Didn't
Yeah.
the Vault of Glass weapons have increased damage to oracles?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's what
one
he's
of
saying.
those-
Oracle Disruptor.
Yeah.
And then I want to say Wrath of the Machine. Didn't they have?
They did bonus damage to Fallen.
Yeah, bonus damage to all fallen enemies. Actually, I want to say that was on Outbreak. As
Even
well,
if it's
wasn't
just
it?
something
It was.
as small
Yeah.
as that.
Like
you
the
know,
only thing
something.
related to that was like Skyburner's Oath, where it does.
Because even
extra
if like
damage
I
to-
went off
And
to
nobody's
a-
using Skyburner.
Well, no, there's no point.
It's garbage.
Also, side note though, I do really like that the Cabal have nothing to do with this expansion because
Yeah,
I
it's
am
nice.
so sick of Cabal.
until
it is-
Callus just shows up.
Cabal again.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Cabal, like
I am so sick of Cabal. We went from not having anything Cabal to having the entire
Everything
series Cabal,
Cabal.
and I hated it. All the armor looked like disgusting, ugly, just trash. The Titans looked like friggin' onions. It was so bad.
onions.
It literally it was like Siege Word of Katarina from Dark Souls,
Hey.
but bad. which to be fair, Siege Wars armor is, it's not that good, but
What are you
you
talking
know,
about, dude? It's perfect for him.
Yeah, it's perfect for him, but not perfect for Titans, okay? I get that Titans are supposed to be these super strong friggin' brutes that are capable of punching everything. Can we not make them look like Roblox characters? Please! Bungie! Nice. What happened to the awesome new Monarchy armor? My god!
It's alright, Brendan. You'll get it back maybe when they reskin it.
Stop!
I hate it. I hate it. Bungie, we know you're capable of making good armor sets. You made really decent armor every single raid when it came out. And then all of a sudden Destiny 2 came out and Leviathan had original armor. Then all of a sudden Eater of Worlds had original armor. Then Spire of Stars was the same thing as Eater of Worlds. And then we're like, okay.
Eater of Worlds, wasn't that just a tournament for the
Eater of
Leviathan?
Eater of Worlds is the fat armor, the Katarina armor.
Yeah, the gross armor.
Yeah, and then Spire of Stars is the Katarina armor.
Well,
Just what happened this time? Different colors, which defeats the purpose because we have this thing called shaders.
It's okay, we don't have to play Spire of Stars. Nobody has to play Spire of Stars.
If we want the Sleeper Simulant Catalyst, we do.
I'll pass. I have 1,000 voices.
Honestly, we should do Prestige Leviathan so I can get my Acreus Catalyst.
Yeah, I want my.
We literally can get it from standards. We can get it from standards.
It'd be nice.
That's Toy got it from standards.
We don't talk about toys.
Well, I mean, if we just did standards once a week, then
on each character.
Then
right?
yeah.
Isn't that,
yeah.
So theoretically we could
so
do
it's
that.
Not that
but
bad. And I'm pretty sure we could actually 3-man that.
Yeah,
too.
and all of our characters are. To be fair, every time we've said that, we're always overwhelmed by enemies because that's how Prestige is. Because they throw ridiculous amount of enemies at you.
I haven't tried.
But
I mean, hey, you just have your bottom tree striker.
True.
You can.
Or I could
You can do that yourself.
Well, now that Weapons of Light is now back with just the regular Ward of Dawn, I can also just put on.
Yo.
I just realized
you can
I
use
could
Ward of Dawn in the raid.
Well, I just realized I could use Ward of Dawn because it already has Weapons of Light and gives you an overshield. But if I have Helm of Saint 14 on it, blinds enemies and gives you an overshield and Weapons of Light at the same time.
So yes, you have the entirety of Destiny 1 Ward of Dawn
in
Destiny
one
2.
bubble.
So it's actually good now.
Yeah, but the thing is, you couldn't pick Blessing of Light and Weapons of Light at the same time. You can now.
Yeah, that's
because
what I'm
it's just
saying.
integrated.
That's what I'm saying.
I like that.
Yeah.
A lot. I dig that. I dig that. All right. Thank you, Bungo.
Yeah, no, just make Tether work on raid bosses.
We don't hate everything.
Sorry.
Please.
Sorry. And then another thing that bothers me is it seems like not a lot of effort is put into holiday events anymore.
No.
Like,
even though I say that, I did everything in Crimson Days because I wanted the bow.
Crimson Days, I guess, just I've never really.
I always like doubles of the playlist, and it's on a weekly or it was on a weekly rotation, but doubles doesn't come around as much. So when it was here, it was fun because I really like doubles.
Yeah, the Dawning, like the armor, I want to say looked nearly exactly the same as it was before, if not the same, and it always looks like so weird every time. It's always like, hey, let's make them look like friggin', I don't even know what you would call it. You look like Titans.
Krampus's reindeer.
Yeah, Titans literally always have like antlers the size of the friggin' Traveler itself. And they're like, oh, new armor. And it's like, oh, cool. I can't wait to see what the Titan looks like. And the shoulder pads are enough to give anyone claustrophobia just looking at them because they think they're too close.
The Warlock has a nice chest piece I use for.
You could smother someone with their friggin' shoulder pads. Like, honestly, you could just be like, that should be an execution for a Titan. They could just be like, bonk, and just
shoulder charge him with fucking spikes.
That's the thing, we have armor with spikes, and it looks terrible. The original Crucible armor. Oh, that actually reminds me. Speaking of reskins, they're not even just reskinning it now, they're just adding it to the roster again. Yeah. Instead of making new Crucible armor and new Vanguard armor, it's the same armor from 2017. Why? What is the point?
Brendan,
we have
new
it.
Armor takes effort.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't even look that good either.
No, it looks terrible.
Like
Because all the 2017 armor, most of it looked absolutely garbage. For God's sake, the fur
because it was fucking
looked
vanilla.
like rat hair. It didn't even look like friggin' well-combed fur or anything like that. Which would make sense because it's not like we're friggin' constructing it out of fucking rats.
Nope. Sorry.
No, it's
rat hair.
Instead, we're gonna have rat hair.
Rats in the Crucible. Got him.
I fucking hate you.
I hate Titans.
Warlock Masterclass.
I hate Crucible.
Yeah, now let's just bleed into Crucible real quick.
Now, speaking of bleeding, dude, I cut myself when I play Crucible.
Okay, wow, I'm totally leaving that out.
Good.
Just kidding, I'm putting it in.
Good.
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 Good. I'm just gonna watch this far anyway.
Luckily...
Just kidding. See, now the people that are watching, put it in the comments if you made it this far.
Yeah.
Do
and
it.
You guys will survive the revolution. Anyway.
Anyway, back to Crucible. Haha.
So to
Titans.
be fair, Bungie did something good.
Yeah,
They changed the glory system, and the way it works is basically
Actually, they also changed.
They changed Valor too.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, I played earlier.
Well, they took away quick play and comp altogether.
Wait, what did they change for Valor?
Well, they made it so when you lose, it takes away from your win streak. It doesn't take the whole thing away. It takes like one or two.
Well,
one,
so it's
I
the
think.
same thing
I
as
think one. Yeah.
Oh, because comp is 2 wins. Then they take it away.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But they also got rid of the
Makes sense.
quick play and competitive modes, and then just put in. So there's a survival. So the only thing for comp right now is a survival that awards glory, and then there's a survival solo queue.
yes.
Yeah.
And then there's for Valor, there's Rumble, there's a classic 6v6, which is just a bunch of maps with connection-based matchmaking, and then I think there's like Control,
Yes.
a Control playlist.
Yep. But now in terms of glory, you don't lose your rank entirely.
Yeah, you can't
which
rank
is
down.
wonderful.
You go back down to 0 on the rank.
Because nothing
but...
sucked more than last season trying to get Recluse and Luna's Howl when you were Heroic 3, and then you lose and you're back to Heroic 2. It was
Literally
that happened
every
for like
day.
Don't
that
worry,
happened a
Tyler.
solid
last
like
month.
month.
Tyler, we'll get you Recluse.
Well, at this point, yeah, we're getting him
practically.
Recluse, and we're getting.
Oh yeah, we
me
played
not
what
forgotten.
2 hours of comp last night, and I'm already
And-
Heroic
Yeah,
2.
we're already
We're
there.
both Heroic 2, so
Yeah.
it's impressive. It's nice, and it's 3v3, which I like more than 4v4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot more. I wouldn't say. I would say it's a lot more team based now, because now it's not like everyone's just kind of running around like.
Yeah, you gotta be very
uh,
strategic about what you do.
Well,
one
that's
person
what we
down.
had to do, because we were pinned down and then we just came back and won it.
Yeah, see, sometimes we have to be strategic.
Yeah,
And
just
then
everyone else
there's
is
the
just.
enemy ape titans.
Yeah, and then the friggin' apes that are just running around with one-eyed masks going, ugh! Are just like you just hear a noise and you're like, oh my god. It's like that stampede scene in Lion King when they do the close up on Simba and he's like, oh my god. That's us.
It's one-eyed masked
right when we
titans.
hear the shoulder charge sound in the distance, we're like, what? Where is it? Lockdown mode. TJ, get your sniper out. I'll use my friggin' shotgun and I'll try to shoulder charge her. But they're bigger apes than I am, and I can't control
They
it.
just fly at Mach 9 trillion
Yeah.
with their one-eyed masks,
So-
shotguns.
For some reason, I don't agree with some of the buffs. I don't know why they buffed pulse rifles. Pulse rifles were already fine the way they were.
And that's the thing.
And they
'cause
buffed it like 3 damage
I was
higher.
playing Crucible right before this, and I was trying out scout rifles for the first time since the buff, and I'm like, wow, these they can 3-tap again.
Yep.
So it's like depending on what RPM you're using.
Yeah.
Like Night Watch, you can't. It's a 4. But I'm using Jade Rabbit right now because I'm working on the Crucible quest line for the not
Randall's-
Pinnacle
Randy's
weapon, but the
throwing
Triumph
knife?
weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's nice, but at the same time,
Pulse rifles
it's
are still better.
Pulse rifles are still better. So
Yep.
it's like I'm getting outgunned.
Pulse rifles can
They're
2-tap.
good, but pulse rifles are just faster.
Yeah. I don't understand why they would buff pulse rifles since they were already in a good place and universally used last season
Yeah.
because of bygones
Every 4
and
burst.
blast
Oh yeah,
furnace. And
I was using Jade Rabbit and I was just getting bygones all over the place today.
Pretty much.
exactly, and they did seemingly buff
That and hand
scouts. And scouts I can
Yeah,
actually
scouts
use
are
again
better
because
now,
scouts
but-
friggin' are what saved me in comp last night because I was using Jade Rabbit and then would switch to Giant 7. And since they buffed pulse rifles too, that thing can friggin' 2 burst if I can get all the headshots. So I'm like, alright, so clearly I found my meta right now. Hand cannons are still obnoxious. The ones with
much so.
explosive rounds, at least, because then your flinch flies up into the air. At that point, you might as well just lose your gun. Like, you just aim down your sniper.
Just fucking drop it on the floor.
Yeah, someone
walk
literally
away.
shoots
Pretty
once
much.
with explosive rounds, and you're
fuck,
like,
I
ah! You're like, there's no point! Just
I
throw the
lost this
sniper rifle
gunfight.
down. You're like, I'm sick of this shit! Just, like, throw it. It's so stupid, but it's clearly never gonna go away, because Bungie loves their hand cannons.
Way too much.
So, aside from Crucible being basically the same, you know,
Oh shit.
for those of you confused as hell, there's some landscaping company across the way, and clearly they are very vocal about Shadowkeep as well. Anyway, it's probably gonna be loud, but hopefully I can snuff it out.
Let's hope.
Anyway, no, I'm kidding.
You're right.
We're gonna yell the rest of the way. So the roadmap of Shadowkeep, Tyler's got it here.
There it is.
Let's see. So it says here.
So we still got a little bit of stuff to come. So
We
that's
do.
why I'm not judging it too harsh. You know,
Yeah.
we still got a dungeon. We got the
We're
raid
not judging it
tomorrow.
harsh. We've been bashing it for like 45 minutes.
It's constructive
I said
criticism.
I haven't been.
Like,
I'm not gonna say it's not worth the price point because you know I've only just dipped my toe in the
There's
water.
a bunch of stuff that isn't out yet.
Yeah.
So.
yeah,
We got the dungeon, we got the raid, we got the legendary or heroic nightmare hunts, which I don't know what that's gonna entail.
Probably
just harder,
the higher light.
and probably gonna have those friggin'
Yeah.
Overlord Minotaurs that are,
You
I
know,
wanna
more
look at
exotic
that.
quests, I think.
yeah.
I figured out how to.
The Vex Offensive, which we really don't know anything yet, except the Vex are gonna come and we gotta kill them.
Show up,
Hopefully
sure.
Festival of the Lost gives us something. I
Yes,
would like
Festival of the
masks to
Lost.
have defense. I have been asking for this since the thing came out. I don't care that they're made of paper. They somehow still manage to stay on your face when you go out into combat and fight. Let me have a defense Halloween mask, please.
Nope.
I think they could
You know how
even
cool it would've
evolve
been
it
with a
further
fire
than
skull?
just masks.
Yeah.
For
Well, yeah,
once.
just make them
Full
helmets.
costumes.
Oh, yeah, okay. Like they do that.
I
And
know
if it
they
is,
will.
it's gonna be a reskin. They're gonna add a fucking spider web to the Titan helmet. And they're gonna be like, woo, spooky.
Now see, they're just gonna put giant pumpkins on your shoulders.
Oh my god. Honestly, Loki, though, would actually like that. Because at least it would be original! Maybe my freaking chest piece would just be a giant jack-o'-lantern face. I'd be fine with it. Friggin' hunters would probably look like witches or something. Or no, warlocks would look like witches. That would make more sense. And then hunters
Yeah.
would probably look like skeletons, because you're all anorexic. And
That's toxic.
It's like the Crotus gear, the Dark Glow gear. For the
yeah,
warlock.
except it's literally
For
just gonna
Death
be
Center.
like an all-black set with the little bones. I'd like that, though. That'd be kind of cool. You know, mess around. We'll do like maybe we'll do a Halloween raid night. We all just jump out in the raid with our Halloween skins.
Ooh, and we all die immediately.
Woo, spooky!
With our fucking rock emotes.
we scare Callus to death. We're just like woo! You just DDoS us.
Crota pulls the Ethernet.
Yeah, no. In this case, Callus pulls the Ethernet. Then, you know, we have the first raid challenges on November 5th. Then the final assault of the Vex Offensive, which we still don't entirely know what it is.
have
It's
no
basically
idea what
the
it
Vex
is.
show up, go kill them, and that's
Yeah,
the new mode.
well,
that we
that's, I
actually
think
get.
that's going to be explained in further seasons as well, why they're...
Well, yeah.
And I'm hoping it's going to tie in with the lore and
There's more
Kira
Well,
game
and...
play.
clearly,
just
because it
shoot
says
back.
tomorrow that raid launch and Vex Offensive are at the same time.
Oh,
so-
wait, that's also
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was a reset
So
on Tuesday.
I don't know if they're gonna do what they did with Last Wish, where it's like when we beat the raid.
Then it happens.
Then
Well,
something
no, I don't want
unlocks.
that because
I don't
I
think
want it
that-
to be something else. Like I don't know, because I really dug the whole curse cycle thing for Dreaming City. I thought that was so cool.
I thought it was cool
Well,
for
the raid
first
is
few
Vex
weeks.
based.
So yeah, I mean overall, do you guys think that Shadowkeep is worth $35?
Yeah.
To be determined for me.
To be
I
determined.
mean, the raid itself, probably.
Yeah.
That's most of what I care about. For
Yeah.
these
That's fair.
expansions.
We haven't
Yeah.
got a lot of the end game content yet. For me, I haven't even played most of what's already out yet.
Same.
You know, I've played the story, and you know, I'm just hit the soft cap, and I'm like a little bit over that.
Yeah.
So I haven't done the quest. I haven't done any of the exotic stuff.
Right.
There's that whole secret room in the tower that's going on. That you know.
Well,
you
that's
have to
just for-
glitch
So
into-
that you have to glitch
We're gonna
into
get
now,
it.
but
We're gonna get it on
apparently-
October 22nd anyway.
Yeah.
It's just for Leviathan's Breath. So.
So yeah, for me, I don't know. You know, I like what I have so far. It could be better,
Yeah.
like anything.
Yeah.
Nothing's perfect.
Honestly, it's not the content that entirely bothers me about the price. It's
Just your
it's
gear.
the armor. It's
Yeah.
the gear. Because I mean,
They
aside
added
from
so little.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I'm
like,
still looking
yeah.
for an armor set for me. Like,
Yeah, 'cause,
I'm
like-
always switching because for me, I feel like the warlock is kind of gets like the least. I mean, I guess Titan
You've got
too.
some good.
you
Hunters-
guys some really
Hunters-
good pieces.
Uh,
I thought last year's Eververse chess piece for you guys was cool. Like
With your Iron Banner.
Oh, like
chest
the
piece is
duster?
great.
yeah, the Duster.
that too.
the blade of the
Yeah.
or more. Yeah, I
The
like that
Opulence
set.
Eververse
Do you
set.
have that?
Yeah, I have it. I have
You
the
should-
full
Yeah,
set.
Build
that
some
looks
of
good.
Yeah, I have the full set, and so I rocked it for a little bit. But like, I kind of want to be like diverse and like have like not one of each piece, but like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just,
max.
Like, build it
yeah,
around
build
the
it
chest
around.
piece.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
With like my scarf.
That's what I
Yeah.
did with my my friggin' Destiny 1 chess piece with the friggin' bandolier. I just formed everything else around it, so it looked more like a soldier titan. I mean, we were the vanguard, like we said. So, but yeah, it's just when you think about it from this point of view, you play the content because it's fun. But what makes you keep playing it after that whole like fun factor eventually wears off? It's because you want to get that specific gear maybe you didn't
Yeah.
get. You want to go back into the raid and
Yeah.
get that helmet because it's evaded you the past like 4 raid tries.
And now that we have Armor 2.0, we
Yeah.
can min-max our gear so much easier.
Exactly. But
And now
the
we have to
thing
go
is-
back into these old raids to get 2.0 versions of
Yeah,
Is that
like
actually
my
how that
Last
works?
Wish
of,
helmet.
of like Last Wish stuff and stuff like that.
Oh, so
Yeah,
they just
yeah,
if you
so
play the
I'll
raids
have to
again,
do it
it's
for
all
my Last
Yeah.
Wish helmet, my Prodigal Gauntlets, and I need to get the Boost and the Menagerie. The other two things, because they're Eververse gear, I can use them more.
So can you go to any of the planetary vendors and get an Armor 2.0 set because they were advertising like all the Guardians
I
are
would
wearing
assume so.
Yeah, because all the Guardians
any
are wearing
piece
year
of
1
gear
armor.
you get now.
I'm
is
pretty sure it's just Armor
2.0.
2.0.
Oh, okay. But there's no you basically limit the incentive to keep playing for people who've been around since launch.
It doesn't
I mean,
help that like I know-lifed Opulence. I got all the pinnacle weapons except for
Yeah.
Not Forgotten, so that's the only thing I have to go
well,
for
that's
now.
another thing too, because the reason why we no-lifed it is because we had a reason to no-life it.
Yeah.
Now that
Yeah.
we don't, it's unfortunate because you know I want to aim for a specific weapon that I want. I want to aim for an armor set that I want. Maybe there's a ship I really like and I want it. And there's that one that you and I really like.
This one.
And like, at some point I would like to try and get those things. But when you show me that all the armor that we're getting in this new content is just reskins that look fancier or uglier, depending on your personal preference, you're not motivating me to want to play it. Like, I'm going to play it because I love Destiny, and that's the only reason why.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm going to be like, okay, well, it's like, I don't, this is my Guardian now. And it kind of sucks because it's a whole looter-shooter. You want to, like, constantly evolve your character.
It's like I've finalized my loadout already.
Yeah, if you finalize your loadout, that's awesome. And if it's because you think it's the best way
to fit your play style.
to fit your play style, and you think it's the best your character can look, that's fine. I don't want to have a finalized character just because those are the only good things I have. It's not like I'm just leaning towards it because I got nothing else to do. It's more, I want to, you know what I mean? Like, actively say to myself, yes, that's why I stopped, because my Guardian looked good.
Yeah.
Not because there was nothing else that was good, and I put the things that I thought just looked okay together. Luckily, that's not the case with my Titan. I think he's the best-looking Titan in the entire game, based on the amount of people we've seen in comp. I'm not wrong.
Because they all wear one-eyed masks.
They all wear one-eyed masks and they don't know what shaders are. All of them wear different armor. This is a message to all Titans. If you watch this video, put on shaders. Make us look good. Because everyone looks at us, and every Titan I see in Crucible is this guy wearing one-eyed mask. That's always a constant. And then the rest of his armor is no shaders. His helmet might have a shader. Rarely. Rarely do I see a Titan with a shader that matches. And it annoys me so much. It's like, do you want to look like you went to... You want to look like you friggin' just took a trip to Walmart, went to their clothing section, thought, oh, hey, this looks cool. Yo, that looks cool, too. And then this, and then put it all together. For God's sake, it looks like you went to a friggin' flea market to get your armor. The friggin' clearance section, because you didn't have enough glimmer to get the nice ones. Like, shaders! You literally just get them anywhere. Use them. Please. I love you guys. I actually don't. I hate every Titan.
My Postmaster is full of them. I can't get rid of them.
I know. I literally, before Shadowkeep came out, I deleted all 50 of my shaders. Every single one of them. Because I wanted Glimmer, and I want Legendary Shards, and I wanted Bright Dust.
I just deleted all the Bright Dust shaders.
I just eliminated all of them, because I was like, what am I going to need all of these ones for? I'll get Coastal Suede, because Coastal Suede's the whole blue setup that I have. And it is easily one of the best shaders in the game. But, you know, when you eliminate the whole incentive by creating reskin gear, new players will eat it up because
they've got a ton of stuff to do.
Exactly. They have 1,000 different things they can do. They have 1,000 different pieces of armor, and they're going to think it's cool. But for the veterans who have been here since, I mean, even way back in Destiny 1's beta. Back in like 2013, 2014.
Yep.
We're disappointed because we're so used to getting vendor resets every season. Or not, well, I mean, it wasn't even seasons, but every DLC.
Every DLC.
And,
expansion.
like, everyone felt like there was something new to aim for. New players had something to aim for.
Even every faction
exactly
had a different set of gear.
And then, like, when they introduced
that's what
Chroma,
that's one of the things that kept me coming back to D1 was factions. Even after the endgame content, it was just, you know, I love New Monarchy. I had it. I think like
cloak.
I'm probably like in the 90s or 100s for ranks of that. Yeah. And each time you opened up a package, it was a random roll on a fucking weapon, and you were hoping that you were gonna get a god roll.
Yeah, and it's just when you eliminate that, it's now we're on different planes. Veterans, they'll have something to aim for in terms of completion, not in terms of gear. New players want to do both. And unfortunately, there was a time where we used to all want to, aim for all this stuff, and now it just seems kind of one-sided. I know that Bungie said they want to cater to newer, or to veteran players, which based on the story, yes, it seems like they want to cater more to it, because if you were new to this, you have no idea what the Great Disaster is. You don't know anything about anything. So you're just kind of starting to learn everything. So based on narrative-wise and lore-wise, it seems like they cater more to veteran players, which I like. It's the gear that we're all aiming for that is constantly just frustrating every season, because it's like, okay, what's the point?
So hopefully that'll change with the whole roadmap here.
I hope so. Like, I hope Festival of the Lost completely surprises me, because, I mean, think about it. You have so many horror elements in Destiny. Like, the Hive, for God's sake, are friggin', like, they're the spooky alien race that literally is in, like, every friggin' season. You can do something. Do something creepy.
I was going to say, I'm kind of expecting a little bit more from this Festival of Lost.
hope
Seeing how
so.
we're going back to the moon. It's spooky month.
I hope
Moon's
so.
haunted.
Moon's haunted.
I want the
better not
back.
just
the nightmares are coming
the
to haunt
haunted
us.
Forest or whatever it was
God.
called.
There's got to be something about us doing something against the nightmares for
It'd be
Festival
nice.
of the Lost.
Yeah. So, ending conclusions. I personally think that in terms of content, it's worth the purchase. In terms of gear, I think Bungie held out on us a little bit, and I'm a little disappointed that they did that.
Especially with getting rid of pinnacle weapons.
Yes, because it was just another thing we could have aimed for. and unfortunately we don't have that anymore. I hope that it was just, I don't know, it's going to be like a trial and error thing. Maybe they're like, you know what, we're going to start adding newer armor sets instead of just reskinning them. It might be easier to do, but easier isn't always better. It's never, almost never better. Like, go the extra mile, because everyone else will be happy that you did, which can get more and more people excited for your latest expansion. Go the extra mile. Make that extra, leap to make the armor different and unique in each season, so that way someone doesn't look at, or so that way someone can look at you rather and go, oh, so he got that from that season because that season was all that, or like, oh man, that was so cool, where'd you get it? Instead of, oh hey, that looks pretty cool, I got it from the EDZ. Oh wait, you didn't get it from the EDZ, you got it from that thing? Oh, you got it from that thing. Which thing did you get it in? Oh, I don't know, what's the difference, because it's literally the same exact armor set from those 5 other different activities. So I mean, I say it's a yes, but it needs work. That's me. What about you, TJ?
Yeah, pretty much. Just the gear is a bit of an issue. It's not really much to chase for yet.
Right now,
we'll see how the raid weapons turn out.
I hope.
Still
so.
hoping
they
they're
look gorgeous,
like, unique.
Yeah, I hope so too.
It's my main thing.
But I mean, based on Destiny 2's track record, it's kind of basically guilty until proven innocent, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. And Tyler, you said that you were on the fence.
Yeah, story-wise, like we said, it was short. I'm hoping maybe the raid will introduce a little bit more story into things. Lore-wise, it's a great start. There's still like 2 or 3 tabs that have question marks that we haven't even found yet, so I'm sure later down the roadmap and the raid will both get separate lore things for.
Yeah.
In terms of price, I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it yet. I mean, me personally, like we've all said, I know my money's going to a good place. I play this game more than enough, so just playing wise, I feel like it's going to be worth my money because,
I play it so much.
I play it so much, so it's like, and it's going to Bungie, so there's one more thing I was going to say too, but it's escaping me.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, I feel super bad. Guess you guys will never know.
Well, so yeah, those are our initial thoughts of Shadowkeep. And keep in mind, it's it's not us hating the game. It's just tough love because we've been here since 2014. We've been here since summer of 2014 when Destiny 1's beta came out. We love this game, so
yeah,
it's just things to put into consideration. I mean, we know that Bungie isn't going to listen to this at all. It's just...
Hey, they might. You don't know.
It's just things that we would like to see from players that actually care.
Yeah.
And that's how we see it, and we figured we'd just
don't get me wrong, like, I can't wait to go fucking play this again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to go play it.
Yeah, as soon as I get home, we're all gonna start playing again, and I have no problem doing that. Maybe we can try and tackle that 920 Nightfall. Because, listen, let's just pretend the Overlord Minotaur doesn't exist, okay?
I mean...
I still have no idea what you guys are talking about
It's
yet,
basically
so I'm in for a treat.
It's just a Minotaur that literally has like the biggest health pool ever because he keeps regenerating. It's tough.
Because there's like a certain perk you get with the artifact that disrupts his healing, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, I just looked at
that's
the
cool.
artifact.
I like that. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. It is, of course, since it's early October, that means it's once again spooky month. I'm going to be making another video about probably one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. Super bad. And actually I was kind of thinking about watching it again just so that way I'm like top tier in terms of my fact checks.
Oh boy, you sure you want to put yourself through that?
Well, I was gonna say that since you haven't seen it, and it's not a horror movie, it's supposed to be, but TJ, it's a comedy.
I don't know if I want to waste my time.
It's not wasting your time, it's hilarious.
I have Destiny to grind.
Listen, man. But,
you should look at the time.
Oh, wow. So yeah, I'll be working on that, and then also I will be making a video talking about one of my all-time favorite horror games later on down the road, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and hope you guys tune in for those. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you guys liked what you saw here, you can like, comment, subscribe, or do none of that. Just thank you for the viewership of this video. And we will see you guys on another episode of Golden Age of Gaming next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.